shift onto the chamber here for CNED. Historically, he hasn't been great on this agent, but we've seen him innovating. He's tested out a couple other duelists. I guess after his time with Angel, he's more open to these new horizons.
I just need, you know, the run it back from CNED, really. I need him to find a little bit of that fire he once had. I think a lot of us are like that, though. It's like you see all that potential, that sleeping giant when it comes to that man. But hey, maybe this is the spark that will ignite the rest of the season, or potentially be a very short elimination group. Now, as it stands, though, if you're just tuning in, it will be FUT on the defending side. Of course, that means that GiantX are on the attack. So we're going to have to wait and see how this one fares. But I already like this approach from FUT, taking some of that mid-space away.
A lot of information found now. And you can see how Yetijay is falling completely off that B site. They're looking to pressure initially off the plants here, just waiting for the timing. See if they can maybe cheeky hop up and over. It works.
All right.
Okay.
Spike planted.
Oh,
No.
Okay, a little style to that one too. But by now, surely the alarm bells will start to ring though, because they felt no pressure, right? GiantX just walked to the site, got the plant. They're like, I'm sure there's meant to be an opponent around here somewhere. And the first real part of contact is coming towards Heaven. But you can see that 3-play crunch now coming through. Paranoia got sent. Dogs out and about, but Cloud, first and foremost, going to get one, but CNED on the trade back out. We're down to 2. CNED and Mr. Fallen going to have to put up some work. And they're, well, didn't get much done, did they, in the end? GiantX off to a great start.
No, I think that rotation coming from the A side a little bit too late there for FUT. The idea, though, was there. We saw the mid clear. It leaves very little options as far as that read goes, but I just don't think they were necessarily quick enough to try and get out of that B choke. Stalled out in that kind of sense. Now looking into the next round here, seeing a little bit of that FPX spy coming out with the 2 rifles on the side of GiantX. And for FUT, playing a lot more default-y into their eco.
And I think the Dex kind of touched on it a little bit, especially Josh when he was talking about kind of FUT's defensive side being a bit of an issue. So I want to see how that looks, at least at eye test. I mean, it's such a limited amount of tape that we've been able to see of these, newer teams coming back out, or even, remade old teams. So it's very hard to kind of get that full grasp on what they're going to look like when really all we've seen is one game from both sides. So we'll see if that continues to plague them, if there's further problems on the defending side, especially here on Split as a starter. If anything, you do have good tape on GiantX, so you should hope that they've got a good plan in mind. For now, GiantX just kind of going through the steps, going through the traditional approach. You're looking to try and maybe feel out if there's that stack in play. We can see where it is. They can't, but they've managed to navigate around it.
Well, it's timing here for Yetijay to actually walk off and in towards CT. Just play for that life, but it won't be that full flank coming in for FUT this time around. GiantX, of course, a free site for the taking. Looking to what they have to work with here on this retake. Mr. Fallen doesn't have any utility, so that Sky, not something we can rely on here.
No, I want to see if Cloud can farm up a little bit as well, considering he had some good progress already towards his ult. I wonder if he's going to get any more going. Okay, Mr. Fallen, fair enough. Hoodie's gone down. Any more where that came from? Looks like CT's the next avenue of approach, at least for the vast majority of FUT.
Oh, the backstab's incoming, though, towards mid.
Yeah, it does have a time limit on this. Again, there we go. That's going to be Nuki farming this one up. Should be pretty comfy. Cloud is one of the names on the kill feed, so that's the one you got to keep your eyes on, because that ult will be knocking on the door, and it's a pretty critical one at this point. As last man alive, not going to have too many options here. Potentially just want to avoid giving away too many of those ult orbs.
Cloud, player to watch from from day one as well. He was the saving grace for GiantX. One of the reasons why those maps were so close in their last matchup. And the thing is, I think for this GiantX team too, while FUT had the expectation of being a team that did so well last year, being that kind of dark horse that rose through the season, GiantX, they retained 4 of their players. So all eyes are also on Redgar in this situation to see the leader that he can be to elevate this middle-of-the-pack team from 2023.
That's spot on. And the captain's going to hold on his play here. You can see the burst already coming towards him. Fatinho wants to close that gap as best he can, or at least maybe allow for a second player to pick up, but he's now isolated. He's on his own. He's actually done very well. No punish from CNED. He only got a touch of damage, and the captain's the one to finally strike back. Levy some of this pressure. CNED makes his presence known. 2 big pickups, and he stops the rot. GiantX can't make it to site now.
Looking to regroup towards ramps. try and isolate the one player in towards Heaven. Hoodie, though, still takes this A main control. Split up here on the side of GiantX.
If Cloud's standing, there's still a chance. Don't write this man out, even in a scenario like this. CNED on red alert, though, being very cautious about it, playing a little bit of a deeper angle. They're going to pause for a second here, heal up, get themselves as best they can ready for this fight. Cloud still has a little bit of kit to play with. Creeping closer, that's fantastic work from FUT. Held at the door and held away. Great response, 3 rifles remaining. They'll be happy with that.
Clean round there from FUT, and CNED, the one to stop that push there towards A main, the drop down into plant, and to find 2 was everything to find the advantage. Now, anti-eco here for both teams. That was the bonus round of GiantX. And looking towards the ult economy right now, not too close to anything just yet, but again, Cloud 3 away from the Rolling Thunder. They're posturing towards B main, a much more comfortable orb here for the attackers. Won't be a choice though, this walk down from CNED.
Love that, love it. Didn't work out very well. Coutinho body checks him instantly, didn't even get to TP back. And I don't mind if CNED wants to try and be more aggressive and try and get in their faces, but not particularly supported in that fact. And it looks like GiantX putting a high priority on at least challenging and late controlling towards middle.
Yeah, you would expect maybe to be paired up with Mr. Fallen in that kind of situation. Assistance from the Guiding Lights, but now rotation into vents. There's 2. And GiantX, they're playing so patiently towards mid.
Afraid to let the clock tick down a little bit here. Further contact made, so FUT knows there's still presence.
Look at this rotation. Nobody's home on the B site here for FUT. GiantX, they're pivoting over towards B main here as well. It's all going to be up to Yetj to spot the cross onto site. A little bit of a jiggle action. Opportunity with a stake bite to try and divvy up the team here as well.
This is going to be so difficult, though. I think they have to basically give this up. Yeah, there's no chance they can challenge here. And now you look at this late lurk. This was something we were talking about, his timing and his capability at it. Nuki not quite able to stick the landing, so they've actually been able to even this back up to a 4 apiece. Plant's going to come in. Do they start early, or do they wait for this to go down? Looks like they're going to have to wait a second or 2, but the pressure now starting to mount. Starting to work their way through from CT. Out of Captain, taking a couple of steps towards the site. It's down towards Cloud and Hoodie once again. This time a 2v3. Can they complement these positions together, create a crossfire? Cloud wants in, and he doesn't get what he wants. Out of Captain, holding strong here, as Hoodie last alive, and a very tricky situation in front of him. Near on unfeasible at this point. Hoodie trying and failing. It's going to be FUT answering back again. Perfect work there on the playback through.
Very comfortable here for FUT. The coordination immense in that situation. Now, heading into the next round, economy not looking great here for GiantX, expecting a semi-eco to come through. There is still the Rolling Thunder that has cycled up here, though, for Cloud. And honestly, I feel like in these eco rounds, earlier this week, we saw Cloud getting 2 pieces, 3 Ks.
Yeah.
That opportunity to still turn the tide. But for GiantX, looks like they're leaning more towards this death ball approach here towards A. And CNED gonna be that first point of contact, likely early peek towards the ramp.
Well, let's see if he's on the money now. A little bit of an uncomfortable start in the last. Outlaw out and about. Gonna dip away, but again, they've had to give up the site here. Not worth the risk, it seems like, which is great for GiantX. They'll take this every day of the week. Looks like a safer plant option, yes, rather than going for heaven. We saw a couple of issues before with some very unfavorable situations. That's just unfortunate, it feels. Coutinho falls blind through the wall. But they've got the plant. Can they cause any mayhem here?
I mean, there is a Rolling Thunder to look towards here into the post plant.
Whether or not you commit to it, though, that's the next question. Is it even worth the try? It's losing Redgar. It's making it feel less and less viable. Cloud and Nuki trying to do something. Nuki not bad! A second and third! Nuki almost rolling it back there. But Yetj on the case, and the defuse going to come through. It's not as clean as they'd like, but they'll take it. It's a round posted on the board. It looks like they want to try and get CNED on that ult as well, so he'll be taking the rest of the defuse. But FUT managing the storm again there. You saw the danger, though. This is when we're starting to see these two teams heat up a little bit.
Yeah, the pacing changing as this half goes on. I cannot get over these shots that Nuki was able to isolate, though. The micro play and isolating those 1v1s. So much more than you would expect to come out from them there. But now, again, Rolling Thunder wasn't meant to be used into the last round. No opportunity for it there into the post plant for GiantX, so we're looking towards it into their anti-eco now. But every round's been so close. FUT haven't even really been able to build up too great of an economy. So every round extremely tight in that kind of sense. Earlier mid control coming up from GiantX.
Oh, I get nervous. I get a little nervous. Okay, that's fine. Almost played in CNED, who does have the operators. That's going to be heard. That's going to be... you could probably hazard a guess, considering the purchase. The economy was in play for it. Not all too surprising, but again, I want to look at Nookie here. His timings, his ability to play these lurks, his late round presence. Because again, we saw the potential mechanically, right? This guy is nuts. There's a reason that we always go, God, but only if he was on that raise. You know, it's always that, and the timings were something that we noted in the previous games, especially on this match. So I want to see Nookie in full form. Looks like Krax was willing to try and clear that. But again, this is all attention to the other side. So he's done very well to pull all these eyes here, keep 3 players dedicated to Zay. But yeah, the Jay's up to challenge, up to the stuff again, finding 2 and bailing out any of that pressure that could have waterfalled towards B.
I mean, it was an incredible snake bite to delay here in towards heaven. The operator taken out here for CNED as well. And YetaJ still holding on, denying the push from GiantX. Sight free for the taking here for GiantX. At the very least, retake protocol here for FUT.
Yeah, waiting for those smokes towards CT just to ensure safety on the cross. Beautiful from Nookie. Bodyguard duty, holding them back. Does dip by slightly deeper towards the backside of Rafters, allowing YetaJ a step towards the side. This is an option, this is an opportunity, but he was still standing for a whole second then. I thought maybe he was dead way earlier than that, but now just down to Krax. Uh-oh, there comes the ult, and actually no player goes down, still standing, but he can't stand any longer. Redgar and Nookie making that work for them in the end, but it got very chaotic.
It really did. Great swing coming out from Redgar to clean that up as well, but wow, FUT, YetaJ, the fact that that poison orb meant so much there towards B Heaven. But Nookie, really the player to watch right now on GiantX. Yeah, that's got to be a rough. You expect the showstopper to find one in that situation, but GiantX, they find success into that round. They also save all those ults that we were looking towards here. 4 to work with into round number 7.
And credit in my mind a little bit does go towards Nookie that I'll come back to in a moment, because Patino's actually already trying to take all of this space. Heaven left wide open. A paranoia scent, which does give away the fact that they are in towards B main. TP as well, though, and a captain actually maybe in a position they don't expect. Great trades for FUT here, holding them back. All of that confidence from Heaven gets shattered. Left to dirt as they're down to 3 and split in position. Uncomfortable for the cross too, because CNED could punish on this one. Not as easy this time for Cloud to make it over, so he decided to go for this plant instead. So this is feeling very claustrophobic.
It's a very awkward plant spot. Not really be able to spot it out here from Heaven, but this push down from Nookie leaves Hoodie down in a 1v4.
Show us some magic, Hoodie. It's a 1v4. Players on all fronts. Oh, there's not much you can do there. Crack's gonna put him to his grave. But I've got to say, when I'm talking about, Nookie doing well on one side, that's, I'll park that for a second. YetaJ's been such a little hero for this team. So much value from his work again. And I love that little TP back from Ada Captain as well, kind of subverting expectation, putting another body towards the backside of Pillar. CNED punishing on the site as well. Again, in my mind, YetaJ is doing really well this map.
No, he's been an incredible anchor here for FUT. Just be able to buy the time for the rest of the team to make that rotation over. And GiantX, I feel like on that execution, the timing was just a smidge off there. The Seekers had already pushed FUT back off the site. The Rolling Thunder, if expended, should have been right off the back of that to assist in that showstopper. Now, tank empty. No, it's the outlaw for CNED once again. Seems like that's the move that FUT are going towards for that economy management to cycle that operator up.
Yeah, I mean, the ult that he can build off the back of this too, he should be in a very good position if they can keep control of this. Again, you look at the armor on the other side, it's light purchases, if anything at all. So it certainly could do very well for them. But he's been a little, no, I don't want to say hit and miss. Flash did confirm attendance, but they don't know it's not just Nookie, but they'll probably figure it out pretty soon, considering the dog's been let off the leash. CNED almost given a chance here. Off-angle position to play with, and didn't get it what he wanted. Looked a little close, but not quite on the money. So they take a step closer. Again, FUT need to be careful to not get swarmed here. It's very possible.
It's only one that was spotted over towards ramps. Great guiding light, CNED, no TP available this time around, stuck in towards elbow.
He's in trouble. I mean, yeah, he's absolutely dead to rights. He got put in a corner and he got put down. And now they're going to get a plant, and now they've got CT control. Yeah, I mean, it's an outlaw. It's not maybe the ideal weapon. You'll take what you're given here, right? Can they make something with this? Yeah, going to be sticking on the Sheriff, it seems. Fitty playing on that corner, and a captain. That Turkish peek in place. Oh, beautiful. Handling all problems there. CT not a threat just yet, but the man of the moment, Nuki. That Sheriff was lethal before. It might just be again. Plenty of potential targets. Cloud's done well. The timing not going to be there. FUT staying alive with 2. It's not as pretty as you'd like, but they get across the line. And again, we said that defending side was their harder half. They're doing quite well here.
GiantX, though, on those thrifty rounds,
they're dangerous.
They are. They're making it really scrappy once they get that spike planted. But again, those retake protocols, 4 out of the 5-round wins that they've found have been off the success of playing a little bit more together, not looking to get caught out into the early rounds. And now, heading into this one, Yetijay does have the Viper's Pit online. Current positioning doesn't really give any hint to that being used early on. Might see it pop out of vents to just completely deny that mid control over to GiantX right off the gate.
We'll see. Yetijay and Cena are the ones gonna have to handle a little bit of this.
That's a good spot.
Opting to invest it through middle, which might actually cause problems for GiantX's plans, considering they do have a couple of players sitting towards sewer, but again, we wait to see if there's any further aggression behind this. I'm looking at the 2 players over towards ramp. They're pushing much further than that, I can imagine. So this does put a little bit of a conundrum towards GiantX with what do they do with this now?
I mean, in the early round, FUT found so much space. The Viper's Pit in towards mid, like we can see with the trademark. Then you've also got the cycling of those one-ways over towards B main, where GiantX haven't actually poked their heads in to see if that space has been claimed, with the threat of the operator on CNET on site as well.
Yeah, they're going to start getting restless for the FUT side. They've not had information, right? You can see that's why the dog's coming out. Hoodie's going to invest his, which is kind of painting a false picture, a false narrative, and just that one dog is enough to put them out of position here. You saw CNED lean away, you saw Mr. Fallen lean off this site, but we know where they're heading. It's going to be towards B, and a missed shot, but it plays in Mr. Fallen. Not very well. Fatinho, fantastic. Site should be theirs here. Redgar's waiting in case anyone decides to get proactive. Not going to work out, and actually you're going to lose your life for it. A shot in the dark and you're dead. CNED falls, and it's down to 3. With Yetijay standing, there's a chance, but I mean, they don't have much of a step here.
Having control at the very least. Trapwire broken. Great protocol with the paranoia coming through as well.
Oh, this is tough though. How do you clear out back site like this? They're trying to divide and conquer. You can see they're trying to slice up the site.
What?
That's one way to start it off, but they need more. They need a whole lot more. And a captain trying as hard as he could there. It's not going to be enough to get across the line. GiantX playing that very well. And the smoke and mirrors, right? That little bit of utility coming out from Hoodie pulled them away from the site. It pulled CNED off the site. It pulled Mr. Fallen away from the site. Maybe because it wasn't Nuki over there. Maybe that was enough. It was like, oh, there's something going on. This has got to be where it is. Pulled the rotation. Got GiantX around back.
They've been so diligent on the side of GiantX as well with their flash utility to ensure that CNED holding whichever angle will be forced to TP off. We're going to see the timeout to be called now here. For, I believe it's on the side of FUT.
But on the other side, you're starting to see the ults coming through, cycling nicely. You've got Cloud there with his in pocket. Yes, Redgar's got his, but you're looking at Fatinho as well. So they're starting to cycle through towards some nicer ults, and I'm a bit worried that this could spiral away. But for FUT, they've got to weather this, they've got to handle this, and a pressure change, a pace change. It looks like A is on a platter here.
Raptors positioning for Cracks has to reposition back towards the vent side though in case the drop is necessary. Initial heavy utility usage towards ramps there for GiantX, but no commitment thus far. Nice dodge from Redgar away from that Trailblazer as well.
There's no... Okay, that takes away, right? This kind of narrows in the opportunities, but look who's on the site. Out of captain this time. managed to make it away from What? Vitinho seems so confused. I thought he might have checked that. But now we're in troubling territory, because look at the weapons. Captain's got a rifle, so does CNED. And Captain's prowling, gonna take down Cloud and look for the follow-up. CNED just gets himself on the side, makes Hoodie reveal this position, and now a 1v2. Can he position this well enough? Can Hoodie somehow slice through both of them? I don't know. The spike is not to hand, and it's a rough position to make it from. CNED trying to clear through. They've got to be working out this timing internally, but Hoodie creeping back around, going to see the barrel, but can he take down Captain? That's the first fight. He waits for the response. He's not getting what he wants. Just teasing him now. Oh, it's perfect work from FUT. Started by CNED and closed by Captain.
A beautiful, thrifty round coming in here. That dark cover on site, just allowing Captain to work his way around, isolate those 1v1s, find the backstab, and a lot of that was opened up also by canceling out that mid flank, that lurk coming out from Redgar with CNED's push to come through. 2 rounds left into the half. GiantX, they've got still that rolling thunder to work with. I mean, Cloud's been holding on to that for quite a while.
They have almost a full snowball round in hand, right? Like, you'd imagine that this is the key, but Captain is just the immovable force. So hard to make, you know, him just move aside for free. He'll take one down with him. If he's gonna go down, he's going down kicking. But GiantX opting for heaven control this time. We haven't seen this being a high priority, it felt like, but all the rotations are in. Here comes the ult we were waiting for. Vitinho just has to fly in blind, and Krax was waiting, arms wide open, and yet Jay's on the case. FUT are here, they are ready, and Captain's still not feeling the full pressure yet. He even gets away with his life. Hoodie couldn't close down with just the SMG. As Redgar a million miles away. No spike and very little hope.
No, I mean, a minute is also a long time to try and save this rifle into the next round as well, because that hero rifle could make all of the difference heading into the last round of this half. But the protocoling coming out from FUT, I mean, Captain alone with the paranoia shut down that entire execution. And we're seeing a lot more coordination coming out from FUT since the first couple of rounds of this game. I mean, they've been really good as far as ensuring that they're finding those 1-2 swings. Okay, and that spike look, yeah, there's nothing you're doing there.
So, again, in my mind, though, I guess the flowers for the last couple of rounds. One, Jay at the start, got to say, for a player who's a little newer to my eyes, he has been outstanding. I mean, if not level and above for the last few, Captain. The guy has been a monster to try and deal with, always so present. They're going to try and hunt down Redgar. If they're even going to be able to close the gap in time, no. So he should be somewhat safe here. Rifle going to be kept on forward, because, I mean, that was meant to be the round, right? That was the heavy investment on Redgar. Did eventually get checked on, but it's fine. He's kept the rifle moving forward, so that's still in the hands of GiantX, don't worry. They have to just try and force up around it, right? Like, what can they get, though? Financially, they're somewhat near ruins. Vitinho, I think, is one away from having his ult, so that could be something to look towards, but beyond that, I thought last round was meant to be the one to really make it count.
I mean, FUT have been really good at isolating those ultimate orbs as well, even though they're not necessarily farming them themselves. Just the extremity control to deny that opportunity to GiantX has been pretty comfortable, again, with the very deep smokes towards B main. Vent's completely empty here. Vitinho fully inside that pivot over towards A heaven. But the trademark to go down here for CNED. Stalled out, just biding a bit of that time. And knowing that they're on these weaker weapons here on the side of GiantX, FUT are more than happy to give up that heaven control on either side, play those longer angles.
Waiting for them to commit towards heaven. 2 players very ready for this. On the man on the screen, Krax. Full kit of utility, hopefully get to invest that. The paranoia, perfect. And this is going to send them a little bit deeper towards the side, but they get to keep their lives. Slow the roll, keep them arm's length here. Seeker's going to come through out of Captain, and Krax in perfect unison. That is the FUT. Oh, come on, and the dog as well. Just biting through Cloud as Redgar once again just going to be left to rot out here, right? What else are you meant to do? He's got very little to say about this matter. Maybe he can pull off the most, miraculous clutch of his life, but credit where it's due, FUT have stabilized. And they've looked fantastic off those early couple of rounds.
I think, too, for GiantX, they've been investing so many resources into those early engagements once they do decide to finally take some of that space on the map. But FUT, ever since they've lied...
Starting to get there, you started to see them kind of working well as a unit. For them to convert that very nicely on the defending side, this could be a really big boon for them going forward. But GiantX are no slouches. They have every chance here, and Hoodie's seen a pixel out of place. Absolutely noted what's going on here, but the swing is just exceptional from Hoodie. Oh, the crunch though, and a Captain of Fallen are right back there. Just the bloodbath in middle, both sides willing to challenge on that.
Fully traded out here as well. Back to a 3v3. Attackers all split up, not willing to give up much more of that extremity control, but GiantX, they look for a bit more information. There's no longer that sky.
I'm scared for Mr. Falling. Oh god, the time.
It's a spike, right?
Oh! If he died then, if he went down, that's the spike loss. They'd been screwed, but he hits an absolute belter of a shot. Now, they don't know too much about Redguard. Now they do, and Mr. Fallen is just on fire this round. Gorgeous work from the man. Plant should be very comfortable, and Nuki's got a long way to walk.
Okay, 1v2. If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Nuki.
Okay, let's see. Creeping closer. Yeah, he's not got that one yet. A J on the case. This is looking great for FUT, kicking things off well here in the second half.
For Mr. Fallen as well, off the back of those picks, off the back of getting that spike planted as well. Already halfway charged up into the Seekers so early into the second half. That pistol round was pivotal for GiantX to try and find themselves back into split. We have to remember, this is GiantX's map pick here.
Yep. And on the horizon is Icebox, and then you could be walking into CNED in Prime, right? Like that's...
Yeah.
Now, whether or not it happens, I feel like I'm just in like fan mentality where I'm just talking nonsense. But like, the prospect is fun. Now we've got a little pinch set up here. This is nice. This is... Oh, Fatinho still gets the paint shot to land, and CNED did punish Hoodie. So it wasn't as clean as it could have been, but I like that little crunch towards ramp coming out from GiantX there.
Redguard's positioning.
It's just a classic. What are you meant to do?
Doesn't quite... Oh, he's spotted out now, though.
The captain's got to be careful to not lose that Bulldog as well. Yeah, he's going to make a really quick run for it. Doesn't want to get caught there, and you've already got Cena kind of backfilling that position as well, making sure they're not chasing through heaven, which actually is very indicative. It's going to be through CT. Smoke going to be invested. And it's just going to be very tough for GiantX to make any more value out of it, so potentially going down to the spike to try and deny any of that further progress. I mean, Mr. Fallen... chase if you fancy it, try and get in there. You've made fantastic work towards the Seekers already. Why not get a little bit more? Only a ghost if anything could go wrong. So as it stands, you can see him starting to creep a little closer, right? He's getting a little interested. Yeah. He's like, well, you know, I 3 away. I could get it.
I might as well. Might as well charge it up.
Redguard's softened up. That's perfect. Okay, 2 away. This man's closing in. Might make much more of it, but oh, yeah, the J. Come on, this guy's such a talent. And now Cloud, it is a formality. And he will go down to the spike here, trying to keep that ultimate economy in the best place possible. But Ash, we got to say it, it's already 10 rounds for FUT. I mean, bigger picture, yeah, that first cycle could be a snowball round. So, I mean, Mr. Fallen's 1 off.
That's the thing, 1 off. You have opportunity to find that orb, or even just a pick here towards B main, depending on how things do end up swinging. But this is getting scary here for GiantX. They really needed to find this first map for themselves. Again, this is an elimination match.
Yes. It's worrying, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's map 1, but
it's
still.
Their map pick. It's the map that they looked okay on. It was a close game. We kind of went, okay, you know, it's hard to tell pound for pound where people are, but you got to call it how you see it. 4 rounds ain't good enough from a team that has kept the core, that if anything has had either a sideways or a direct upgrade, depending how you see Redguard, right? That's dealer's choice, but 4 rounds is not good enough here, and they're going to be feeling that pinch. They're going to lose all comfort, and we're going to see what they look like on Icebox into the, you know, unknown, and already Crack's going to start things off. 50's gone down. That was with the Sheriff.
That's rough. Rough looks into this round. I think Nuki has also had very passive Cypher setups over towards the A side, so it's not like they've had much space control from the Sentinel utility nonetheless. And FUT, they continue this walk up towards mid, the 2-person lurk over towards this A site looking for the crunch.
Okay, continue forward. Nuki now knows. Trouble's coming. He does have help here, right? This was the combination that worked for them before. Cloud and Nuki, they were able to hold this side very well. But there's that ult. There's the first issue coming through. They get to handle it early on, but it does allow a couple of steps in, right? YellowJ gets to challenge a little, looks towards CT, sees nothing. Pressure from the backlines from Heaven, but the gap's starting to get closed. Can the duo do it again? Nookie with the first and the second. A third?
Spike planted.
Not just yet, but the spike's gone
The
down.
reload.
YellowJ trying, but again, this duo, these two are digging their heels in. That was exceptional work from them. CNED, a 1v3, you're gonna roll back the years for us? Not right now. Hoodie gonna extend the play here. 5 rounds for GiantX, and a stark reminder that those two really can lock that side down.
Absolutely. I mean, just being able to buy as much time as possible for the rotation from B to come in. Just so much disruption, the chaos that's caused, and FUT now, again, they still have that momentum from the first half. GiantX, great for them to steal that away, but can they carry it forward? Right now, again, you see that protocoling. Nobody home really towards mid here for FUT, aside from CNED, who will have that opportunity to likely TP out if he does throw that back in towards the sewer side. But off the contact, off the flash, the guiding light, expecting. Oh, he doesn't have the TP. Okay. Into the corner, but he could still get caught out if it's an aggressive push from Male.
I just love this pinch. Cloud's going to try and set it up into motion. He's fortunate enough to not have been punished on this. Does get to keep himself standing, but that got quite dicey. I like the idea from GiantX to try and punish potentially that walk up. But it's an early tester. And again, this is something I also want to be seeing, is something that we wanted to smack our heads against the wall for a while, was the fact that no one used to deal with that camera. If you looked at when Alpha was doing and other players, that it just allowed you freedom to not have to worry about rotations. Nice to see YellowJ dealing with that. You could already see a little bit of worry in the back of GiantX's minds. They've lost a player on one side, and now you can see them dipping back through here, forcing to respect this presence in Heaven that they've noted from not only Cena, but we know where FUT are going. We can see where they're trying to aim towards, but Fatinho trying to hold back the flood towards Heaven, and now it's just on Redgar again. Look how isolated he is. That little bit of work from YellowJ was just gorgeous, joined with CNED. That is where the difference of this round happened in my mind, because Cloud and Nookie could not leave.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
Absolute disruption towards the right side of the map, and now with the spike initiated planted here, GiantX, they have to opt for a save. Look at their money situation. Fatinho has nothing to work with, neither does Redgar. Hoodie will be able to afford into the next round, so these rifles are important to carry over, so Cloud can throw something over towards Fatinho. But that also is a free 11th round here for FUT, with no contention into the post plant, as expected though.
Still
Very
Cloud.
least.
Still Cloud.
It's a nice pick. Charge up a little bit more into that Rolling Thunder.
Oh man. It's hard to watch sometimes because Cloud is just such raw talent.
Yes.
Right? It's like you just see glimpses of it, be it, you know, maybe not throughout the entire game here, but the glimpses of what he can do certainly in play. But again, rolling back that round, taking that late mid control, keeping the attention there with, you know, the utility from CNED, the creep from YellowJ coming up. It forced the fact that basically you could not lack here and there, but they've been able to fashion a purchase. But is this the pace hit then? Is this the pace change? Do they dare walk back into what is the blender though on A?
The thing. Again, poised and ready. Cloud playing towards elbow with that great line for the fault line, no matter which way he wants to go. Fatinho alone here towards A Heaven though. Has a nade.
A little bit of support came out from Cloud there to stall this, so it has kind of taken the wind out of the sails. So it's not a complete just pacey hit. It's allowed a little bit more freedom for Fatinho to calm down as well, get the support towards CT from Hoodie too. But again, this is all above a minute. They've done this in incredibly quick fashion, so they've shown all this presence towards Heaven. They've drawn a little bit of kit out from the GiantX side, and they're going to pause. They're going to see if they can maybe catch any of this overextension. You could already see them checking through middle. Can they catch Redgar potentially, or anyone who got curious about that internal clock? Good work from Redgar to note there is problems coming my way. He's already called in for support. Hoodie could be the linchpin here.
But FUT, they look to pivot back over towards the safe
double
site.
pump. Yeah, they're going back through. I mean, maybe they feel they've pulled enough over. Maybe they noticed on the utility. Surgical shot from CNED. Fatinho falls, and then just back and forth. The seesaw every single time they get a pick, and now you know it. The Redgar's on a platter, on a plate, so vulnerable, and YellowJ, just the timing god. This guy's got it. We're talking about bad timings, bad lurks throughout the lead into this matchup. That's a man who's absolutely got it down to a T. And now Nookie and Cloud left a million miles away. What are you meant to do here, Cloud? It looks like he's just fated to fall. I mean, he's tried. Let him know. But at the end of the day, Cloud, you shoot the body, but you're going to be against 12 rounds, so it doesn't really matter, does it, mate? 12-5. Ash, this one's looking done.
I mean, nothing in the tank here for GiantX as far as that money goes. It's going to have to be that light shield to buy, but not everyone can afford the proper full loadout. Very least saving grace, we're going to look for that combination with the Rolling Thunder and the Showstopper. But it has to be a clean round for GiantX. They need to take as much as they can if they want to try and carry this forward. But right now, FUT, the reads have been so good. The calling from Mr. Fallen. And again, the way that they're just able to continuously isolate 1 to 2 players on those crunches has left GiantX with little to answer with.
A little bit of a different setup, though. They're playing ahead of the utility this time, which I quite like. This is a really good call coming out from GiantX because they were kind of was working behind the curtain, right? When their Viper Wall goes up, they didn't know what was happening, so they have to fight ahead of it, which is dangerous, but you got to back yourself. And this time they're winning it out. Cloud denies Cracks any control towards ramp. This will somewhat dissuade the plans of FUT, right? They don't have that free access to pressure towards A. They can't pull those rotations freely to tee up Yedajay. It changes the dynamic now.
Then with a very deep A main trip here for GiantX, they feel comfortable falling back towards screens, play the numbers advantage, knowing that no information is to be had here towards mid here for GiantX. There's also that Vents trip to have to worry about here, so could be revealed if Yetche does drop in and decide to shoot that one out. It will be uncontested for now, just seeing if they can find any information.
No subtlety to it, but they're trying to bait out, see if they can get a pick on the other side, right? It's like, will Hoodie actually push or no? Okay, he's still going to use his utility. It's just testing, right? And so far, GiantX are keeping up with the challenge. They're not overstepping, they're not being caught out. This could be the first problem of it. Patino's waiting. Does that a Captain walk it? He does. Timing's right. Good work from Patino. He's actually going to just let it go. He's going for this one, chasing it down. Gorgeous. Could have been even better, but Cloud is there. The backline support system. And all on the young gun himself, Yedajay. What can this man do in a 1v4? 10 seconds. Probably not much.
No, I mean, GiantX, they're not going to be able to give that to them. You got maybe 2 seconds to work with, but all they have to do is... I mean, this is something that we talked about, right? They don't have the weapons, and the ones that I've saved into the next round are stuck on a Spectre and a Bulldog. Seekers available here for GiantX, but same can be said here on the side of FUT. They did make that adjustment that you mentioned, Pansy, in the last round, playing a little bit more forward, more for that control into the early round, the information, but might just be too little too late.
It strikes the fear of God in me, because you look at them having to try and juggle how they're going to play their utility out. I mean, I don't think Patino's going to be able to afford a great deal. You're lacking a lot of areas. And FUT have now just done something completely different, right? Like a whole new wall's come out. They don't know what's going on. Viper's Pit's going to be there. They've got the Seekers if they want it. Redgar, no subtlety to where he's going to be, right? This is all scary. Now, do they pull the likes of Cloud over? I think that they do, but look at what this is doing. This is causing them to over-rotate potentially.
I've got your trail.
Seekers come through here as well. And then you've also got now the Showstopper up towards Heaven.
Can he follow it through though? Can he close the gap here? GiantX are on the site. He's still got Redgar sent towards the pit. Not going to be able to use it into... Oh my god, but who needs it? Cracks sharp as ever, 2 towards CT, but CNED with his watchful eye above. They got the site so they can get the plant. This is already going so well for them. They've got to try and make something work here. Nuki is still on the A site. He's so far away.
We've got no utility on the side of GiantX either for this retake. The Sky Nerfs are hurting right now here for a Hoodie.
Timing. And a Captain could just find the perfect timing. Actually, it's worked out well for Nuki here. But still, so much more work ahead of them.
So much space to have to clear. Not able to take that front sight space either into the retake due to the pit.
CNED putting himself nice and close by. It's Mr. Fallen to find Patino. It's down to just Hoodie, and he's gone. He's dead. This map is done. 13-6. That was an absolute clinic from FUT.
On GiantX,
and it's just been shattered. Well, it better be good on Chamber, CNED, because I feel like, you know, you apologize for someone long enough, and then they just really let you down in that one moment. This is it. Anyway, into the game we go. We'll see if it actually works, right? The proof's in the pudding, and maybe, I don't know what they've been cooking up for dessert. This is a wild comp to my eye. What do you make of it?
I mean, I genuinely don't even know what to say. I guess you do have the opportunity to try and flash through both at a captain's wall and YetaJay's wall of his own, but when it comes down to that toxic screen, that could be where the answer lies.
We sit and we wait. We see the value already cracks. I mean, man's not going to miss opportunities like that. Nice little line of sight down there. Coutinho waiting to see if anyone's going to push through towards rafters, but for now, Spike's down. So at least GiantX do have the time on their side, but look at the chip damage. Got to be a little careful to not get any of those moments capitalized on here, but big information revealed. CNED wants to springboard in. This is a big chance, and not clean enough, really. And hold on, you have to... excuse me.
What? Okay.
Where did Nuki just come from? He just flew down at them, but it will be FUT with the first. This is their map choice, and I don't think we've quite seen the method to the madness yet, but, I mean, they made it through the pistol.
There.
Well, with this composition, will there be a method? I don't know.
No.
No, I mean, I do think what is cool, though, is looking towards GiantX. Sure, they're running the double controller. You've got the Viper, you've got the Omen there for Redgar.
Remaining.
The Phoenix, YetaJay is very good in just handling his own, going off and kind of doing his own thing. So I do see a lot of potential for him individually with those curveballs to just pop out of smokes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, look. I love the way you're trying to like theory craft the way out of this. You're like they've done some weird stuff, and I'm desperately trying here. But the problem for GiantX is this isn't the start they'd want, right? You end last game, a bit of a low point, probably frustrated. Yep, that's your own map. Okay, let's start with that pistol. Let's get that building for ourselves here. Didn't happen. That's rough. So now we see the purchase coming out. Bulldogs are plenty. Outlaw on deck for CNED. And on the other side, Classics and two Sheriffs. So Nuki with one and Hoodie with the other. And it looks very simplistic for now. 4 players already in rotation from FUT, so making no subtleties of this, really. Oh, GiantX.
Man, just stuck in towards Maze right now. Comfortable stack here for FUT, knowing that they are going to opt for the shorter fights here that you find on the A site here for GiantX. But now with the cutting of noise, GiantX trying to tease this rotation away, but again, not enough time.
Nah, they got to make a go of this, and just FUT aren't allowing them any further forward. This is lovely from Mr. Fallen. That's going to be some great work for Result as well, leaning into that nice and early. I mean, YetaJay is going to have that on deck every single time, it feels like, right? That's going to be cycled through so often. So again, bigger picture. Having Andalusia flawless at this point is only just, adding to the boon of all of this, right? The benefit for FUT that they get all those ults coming up nice and quick, working towards it. And I've got to say, I love seeing them pumped up on the stage. Kind of getting a little bit more feisty about it. Seeing that come through, love a bit of it. Now, how much damage can they do, though, up against a full buy, right? A decent purchase coming in for GiantX, and they need to stick this.
I mean, they're fighting for it. Again, it's farming up this ultimate here for YetaJay, but going to be punished for it, of course, this time around. GiantX wise to it.
Standing ahead.
Huh.
Oh, okay, well, that's not doing much.
Huh.
I closed my eyes, didn't see anything. All good.
Take flight.
I heard laughter in the crowd. That's rough. That's, Here we go, CNED. Show me something. Make me a believer. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've read the pamphlet. I'm on. I'm real close to signing up to this. You gotta do something. Oh dear. Well, that's not really gonna help, is it? Gonna have to back away here.
Got to reload the double pump too.
Yeah. Coutinho can take the space by Yellow. Gorgeous catch from Hoodie as well. Out of captain. Well, pamphlet in the bin. Cracks and Mr. Fallen. Gonna try and do some damage here, but this is a good response from GiantX, kind of at least stemming the bleeding on those first couple of rounds that looked very one-sided.
Yeah, I like the denial that they did have over towards that A site initially as well. But it should be a clean and easy post-plants here for GiantX. Not too much to work with still. Just having this recon finally cycled back up here for Mr. Fallen.
Last player standing.
Yeah, not gonna happen. This is nice. Once they get into that post plant, gonna be very difficult to break. Cracks, yes, we'll take down Redgar, but beyond that, a good round for GiantX and a necessary one, right? Come into the gun round, you need to keep it in a really good spot moving forward. You want to keep as many of those rifles up as possible. Kind of got the feel of things. Again, I got to say that was the bonus for FUT, so they were being a little fast and loose with it. It looks like YetaJay took a bit of a risk to try and go for that orb at the start. A little bit of fumble from Mr. Fallen. It wasn't perfectly clean, so we kind of put pause to that, but we have to give credit there to GiantX to at least stabilize a bit because they've been struggling in the last couple of few.
Nonetheless, though, I feel like FUT will still try to find that ult orb here for YetaJay. Now, still only one off of that running back, and nobody is home on GiantX to punish that towards the A site. And drone, of course, to clear out towards green. So many pesky corners that you can hide behind now as a defender here on the side of FUT, but also makes it a bit more comfortable to push in as an attacker for that.
This instantly rotating
Yeah.
4 players very, very quickly.
I mean, GiantX have yet to pressure mid, right? Of course, you go, you cover your bases, you check back in.
Deploying drone.
But now the wall's up, the Owl drone comes through, but with that one way, GiantX still yet to push through.
Right here.
I mean, they've been sending Prowlers on the other side of the map, right? So they've been checking that no one's pushed up. And you're going to hear this going. J wants information.
So early.
Yeah, how far can he get on this one? Again, the wall's still there. He's seen very little, which is the worrying part. They don't have the full information. Notes Nookie, but that's not going to tell him everything. There's still the paranoia of, is this still a late A hit? You can see the utility cycle from Cracks just trying to make sure no one's slowly creeping the site. Now, fortunately for FUT, they have already kind of hard rotated the 4 players here. Yes, leaving out a captain towards keeping check on middle, but this is going to be GiantX heading their way. CNED connects. That's Fatinho down. And now this becomes a little bit trickier on the site because the time, this is getting real low on the clock.
A lot of respect was paid to that initial one-way there towards B main. Again, you mentioned the time here. CNED with the wide angle.
It's just no time. They're going to be
10
forced to
seconds
plant here. The one bonus is that Cracks is late on rotation. They do have the spike down and no challenge.
One
Oh, the
enemy
timing
remaining.
wasn't pretty then in the end, but bailed out by Mr. Fallen. Taking down Redgar, leaving Nookie in a 1v2. This man can be monstrous, though, in these scenarios. And that's what I mean. Nookie with a Red Bull clutch looking crisp with it. The man you want alive in these situations, even after seeing some heroics from CNED there.
What a way to turn the round back into the favor of GiantX. Those are scrappy fights there towards that B site. A bit of overextension from FUT. Overcommitment to some of those angles that were being held to just try and continue to deny that plant. But GiantX, I do worry about the fact that, are we going to continue to see an iteration of them trying to stall out on that time? Because it's not going to work in their favor every single time they try to push that kind of issue. But very forward information found here by FUT on their eco round towards that A site. See nobody. Again, GiantX, they haven't really poked and prodded in any sort of default. Have been stacking towards here as 5, knowing that they do have the weapons advantage in that kind of sense.
Down. Oh, Cloud, that was really risky to run out like that. Oh, CNED! Just takes the wind out of Fatinho's sails, but it is traded out by Hoodie. So somewhat no harm, no foul in the end, because they did get the plant down as well. So if anything, GiantX kind of walking away with a little bit of a benefit here, considering that they've only got Sheriffs behind that. CNED was their one big factor of impact. A recovered rifle there for J could do something, but again, the post plant is potent. It's difficult to break. Redgar not forced away just yet, uncomfortable, yes, but it's Nookie on the bailout again. Redgar falls, Nookie still firing. This guy will be the one to just completely keep this in check if he has to. J is there, and now we start to keep notice of the time. He can't get that defused. There's nothing he can do about this one. He's made a damn good go of it, J. But the post plant, these 2 players, Hoodie and Cloud, are just going to play to the clock perfectly. There is no more to be said or done here. Time to fall to the spike. And a valiant fight, yes, from FUT, but a round for GiantX.
Keeping it tight on an eco there. Doing a lot of damage. Again, not really allowing GiantX to scale up your economy that you would expect from them in that kind of situation to be able to carry over a couple more rifles. Looking over towards the ult economy this time around, though. GiantX, they have a Viper's Pit to work with. Could do well to help them actually find maybe the right side of A, or even just deny that screen's control if they do manage to find that space. But we're seeing a flip-flop here for FUT beforehand, looking for that aggressive peek over towards A, that early space and control. This time, a different look towards B main, denying the pressure of that Viper's toxic screen.
Yeah, I kind of like that they're trying to play ahead of this, and seeing, or maybe even hearing some of that fade utility towards B should leave GiantX scratching their heads, but I don't mind this. Start testing up Tube, have to deal with that chamber utility that will, of course, be in place. That's not a surprise, but will they expect this to fall? And he's so fortunate to be still breathing. He does get caught on the way down by Redgar, actually punishing underneath Tube. And now they've got middle control, right? Divide both of these players from either side of the map. It's going to be very difficult for them to handle now. You've basically put Ada Captain on an island here.
No charges.
I mean, just looking to play disruption, right? Try and find that pinch towards A and isolate out of Captain like you had mentioned.
Wait, they're still going up middle though. That's the curious part. They didn't try and back around towards A. And actually,
pick is
Cned's
big.
found Hoodie. I don't know if I like this as much because Ada Captain gets played in a little here. He's heard all of this. That's a catch on the cross. Ada Captain gonna know there's another player as well. Chip damage done. GiantX had way more of an opportunity, but for now, does Cloud get affected by this? A little bit on the way out, but mostly gonna keep his HP in a decent
This
position.
belt timing.
And that's what I was about to talk about here. Yedajay, the timing on his flank. But look at this from Nuki. Heads up work here. Who sees who first? But again, Yedajay may be pursued, but he's certainly not prey. Cned, another step towards the site now. It's going to be the alarm bells ringing because Nuki's got to get back. Oh, the turn, Yedajay! You're nasty with it. FUT, come on! How are you winning that?
Did he make a step there on the hop up? That's the big question, but man, it was a great idea from both sides. Yedajay's timing, Nuki, so diligent to know, okay, someone could have wrapped around. We didn't have that flank watch. Now all tied up 3-3. Run it back, cycled back up again. Second one for the half here for Yedajay. We saw it being used much more proactively. And GiantX are trying to starve FUT of that information into the early round, but GiantX, I think eyes have to be over towards Vitinho with that showstopper. If they can manage to find some sort of numbers advantage here for GiantX, they might be able to pump the gas and try and find a bit more success.
Uh-oh, Cned has an army against him. He's seen the TP, he's seen the L drone, the paranoia is coming, like, can he live? Vitinho on the hunt. He wants to gap close, he wants to get in their face, but for now he's got to respect it. Look at the utility just stalling him out. He doesn't want to overextend here. He's got the site, he's done his job. Now they need to get that plant down, but this is the problem. You heard it. He's got the tag, he's got the frag. Fortunately for, oh, Vitinho for free as well? That feels almost unfair. They try to make a damn good go of this. Can they do anything in this post plant now? Cloud's still alive, Hoodie's still there. They've got opportunity to stall this.
These snake bites have been a pain here for FUT in the past.
They've got to break the back line. They've got to get in their faces. Hoodie stands and delivers, fighting Yedajay and Cned. They're now dwindling in numbers. They still haven't broken that back line. They've taken down Hoodie, but listen to it. You can hear it on the other side. Cloud going to send this downtown and get it halfway. But they still haven't got the full defuse here. And look at the HP on Ada Captain. 5 HP and time is not on his side. Cloud desperately trying to come back with the shock dart. Should be the end of it, and it is. Excellent work from GiantX. That back line did not fall.
Incredible post-plant positioning, playing so far back, like you had mentioned, but at the same time, for FUT, they managed. Well, actually, no, that's the other way around. I mean, that was the thrifty round. I was thinking about the fact that, okay, they expend that showstopper, and they also force out so many of those ultimates from FUT when they were on that eco. Now FUT to be the ones on the back foot when it comes to that money. Viper's Pit available. Again, fighting forward here. 4 people.
I like it though. Use Ada Captain, right? Push him forward, make him work with the squad, try and tee him up for success.
Here.
Yellowjay gonna creep ahead of this. He's gonna hit the Vandal. He takes the fight, but he tees up the other teammates. That's what it's about. Ada Captain just put in position to frag out, and he does the best he can. They had their rifle, they made something of it. It's down to a 2v2 here. Still gonna have the headhunter. Couldn't land it. Hoodie and Nuki, keep cool, keep calm, and keep composure.
Cleaning things up, but damage done nonetheless there by FUT. GiantX, this is the advantage that they want to start finding themselves in. They need these rounds. Again, they're down a map off the back of their map pick. And we're on FUT's playground right now. Lockdown available here for GiantX. Last time we saw it, it was that B main control that we looked towards there for GiantX. They had that stack. They didn't have that mid control, but it looks like they're taking a different approach this time around to guarantee that they can maybe catch off the defenders that are looking to fall back.
Yeah, and Nuki with that lockdown is it's just that in the back pocket is such a factor. Early investment from the Viper's Pit, right? That's just you don't want to come to a, just go elsewhere. Which is why they've stacked, obviously, the rest of the team towards, that B long side. They're going to leave Mr. Fallen towards top and middle. Ooh. And they're willing to take such scraps early on. So big information, yes, but Mr. Fallen's going to feel this pressure. That's an issue. He can't control all of this. Depending on the utility invested early from Cned to keep tube safe, but he just drifted across middle. That felt...
Ada Captain's in danger.
Yeah, Ada Captain's screwed because of the lockdown. Again, and he's got the wrap coming in from CT. Mr. Fallen really made a mistake on that one. Good attempt from Ada Captain, but this round is absolutely looking GiantX's way.
What a way to pivot over towards that A site. Nuki low though, at the very least, and looking towards FUT. Krax has all of his utility available into this retake.
But again, you've got Cloud, you've got Hoodie, both there, both with that ability to kind of play this post plant, but see what FUT can do. If Yedajay is still alive, maybe there's still something to be said. Krax still has a little bit of kit to play with, sure, but this is really hard to break now. They're not getting many chances.
Oh.
Look at this, look at the damage! Just get towards the site. Seen it with a valiant attempt, but it really feels all for naught. I just want to try and drift out of it. Krax, yes, gonna make a go of it. Nuki's still standing, and you just can't break these final players. Krax not gonna find him on the side. Cloud waiting it out, kind of playing with those expectations of where these players would be in the post plant. But again, curious why Mr. Fulham was drifting like that after he lost sight on middle. Maybe he felt he had more time to play with. He certainly didn't.
No, I think after that initial tag on towards Redgar, I believe, who had to TP back down towards mid, didn't expect that walk up to have been so early underneath Boiler. It's expected maybe a bit more of that kitchen presence, but this positioning here, I mean, the proactivity that we saw coming out from GiantX and their usage of those mollies, not just saving them for the...
It's very simple solutions to very complicated problems. But as it stands, they're going to try and work with a very shoddy purchase here, FUT, so I don't know how much they're going to be able to get away.
I mean, this positioning this time for both sides is looking much more reminiscent of the first couple of rounds that we saw here on Icebox. With that aggressive positioning, you talked about the flanks. On the eco, Yedajay looking to deliver, pushed all the way out from A. The one-way still denying line of sight here for GiantX.
Timing. Yeah, Nuki just started to step away from that. He was watching by the little angle on ramp. Yedajay and Mr. Fallen have connected.
Okay.
Now, that should be maybe one recoverable rifle. I don't know about any others, but seen it so low.
Player standing.
Still a little bit of damage. Okay, Yedajay's got himself the rifle, right? Because that was dropped from, I imagine, Nuki.
Spike
And
planted.
he knows that. Look at this post plant, though. They're just instantly going to the other side. They're like, right, we'll just sit on the other side of this. But do they have the same utility? Do they go for a long walk around? They don't. They've lost a little bit of a track on where he is. So that's a shoulder he might have spotted. Yeah, definitely called from his teammates. Still got flash. Still got the molly. Does have ult, but they're double stacking this. There's the flash and the swing. Oh, he's caught Hoodie. That's an issue. Yeah, it's ult time. He's running it down. Cloud up for it, trying to close the gap. Does he get back in time? Cloud stands and he falls. Yedajay, what a monster.
You can see smiles on stage here for Yedajay, the bright star, the rookie on the side of FUT with a Red Bull clutch to come in off the back of an eco. So not just a clutch, that was a thrifty round as well for FUT. That's great momentum for them to continue forward with GiantX. Comfortable knowing that they go into the next half at minimum even at this 4-6. And
One
Operator
enemy remaining.
now online here for CNED. It's been a while since we've seen it. But just taking a replay, a look back at this situation, man. That Phoenix ult, it cycles up so quickly. The only ults have not gotten that nerf of needing one more orb.
Yep, the survivor. For now, it looks like GiantX kind of going back to what was their bread and butter somewhat, and that might be a dead Krax over there. Oh, has he got moves? He absolutely does. Nice to evade, but Yedajay gets played in here on this angle. That's gorgeous from him. Easy to get overwhelmed, but he can stall out with a util. Look at this. Instantly cycles it, gives him a way out of danger. Perfect work. Big damage done. Fatinho gone, making it very difficult to get to that back part of sight. And at least get the rifle back, but again, they've lost a lot of the spring to the step.
Gonna have to be a bit more measured now on any attack. And Viper's Pit is available to cut off half of this A site at the very least. Font gives information that GiantX have not backed off.
Oh, that's a little too far for me. Maybe didn't need to go for that by himself. Because now they've got massive opportunity to get towards the site, get that spike down. You don't want to get into the post plants again. That's the biggest issue. Mr. Fallen not allowing them to do it. It's Nuki, the one to try and trailblaze further forward.
30 seconds left.
Players close to the site, though, they haven't dipped away from this. There is still out a captain nearby, and he's going to try and get around the corner. He's done it. That's Nuki gone. It's all on Hoodie. A 1v2. Going to play around the pit. That's about to drop if he's not. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What an absolute travesty of an end of a round. That's not what you want to be seeing.
I have no words. I mean, a pixel off, I think, on the timing there for Hoodie, but something that you really can't afford here as GiantX. You need every round you can take, knowing you're trying to push it to a map number 3 again. Lauren, at the end of this matchup, at the end of this best of 3, the desk was talking about it. We're not going to see one of these teams until after Masters Madrid.
And honestly, I wasn't that worried about this map until we've seen 2 rounds now strung together by FUT. I was thinking, you know what, GiantX look really competent here. They've got a good read on it. Oh, what am I seeing? I mean, for this one, we do have Mr. Fallen running with the operator. Maybe he's got a rifle by him as well, but because we do have the tour de force with CNED, so he's got a bit of everything. Rax maybe trying to bait this in. Mr. Fallen just going to post it down. Does he get any connection? No,
just
absolutely not. Close, but no cigar.
It's 2 big snipers here that FUT are working with to lock down these long angles. Allows a very comfortable stack here towards this A site, knowing that they have mid and B main on lock.
That's a lockdown
My
there.
ultimate is ready.
Massive. Facilitating the plant. Looks like Nuki's going to hop up. There we go. Cross and sorted. Do need to be careful of that corner. It can be covered if they want to do it, but I don't think FUT are going to sit around for that anyway, so they're going to have to respect this.
You just play the full retake in this situation, right? You do have that backup SMG there for CNED, and Krax has his entire kit to work with as well, plus a flash there from Yedajay. But still looking to delay here.
Yedajay's in trouble. Yeah, that paint shot was fantastic. It's going to be tricky to kind of make this work, actually, considering FUT are working with 2 SMGs. It's not exactly what the doctor ordered. Patino going to find his first there. The captain going to go down. Yedajay does find damage, so it's all traded back. Now we look towards the back line. Hoodie and Nuki. Nuki going to put himself forward, trying to play ahead of this. Krax takes him down. Now we're down to the final few, but time is going to be on their side. They're going to be working this as far as they can. Cloud with it all to prove, and all to do, and all of the shots going his way. Cloud is the exception to every single rule. This kid's nuts.
A Red Bull clutch from Cloud coming out once again. The savior in their matchup yesterday, or 2 days ago. I keep saying yesterday because these days have been going by so quickly. But that match against Carmine Core, Cloud was the saving grace. We're seeing him pull it off once again. It is maddening how good he is at this game.
He's kind of saved this half of them, I've got a feel in my mind. That was going to be tied up. It felt like you're really close by. Wow. Wow. I mean, I think we've all seen it before. I think a lot of people, even in the previous game, were saying, you know, Cloud, you know, this guy is a talent. We've seen it and we've said it for years, but every now and then you catch those glimpses of it so clearly, and it's just fantastic to witness. However, FUT managed 5 on the defending side. GiantX managed to scrape through with 7 in the end. As though they snagged that one away just at the very end, thanks to Cloud's work. But still, they do have a lead here.
A little bit of scouting there towards mid with the aggressive TP up there from CNED. Now Hoodie. Nice timing to fall off the site as FUT look to creep up. Not making a peep thus far. But Hoodie actually pushes back on.
Standing ahead.
There's a flash. There's a swing. Good connection, but didn't actually catch the body off the back of it. Hoodie going to try and punish CNED. The response in kind is actually very, very strong from FUT, who've taken over a large portion of the site now, and Nuki going to feel wrapped on here. Couldn't actually convert the kill either. So working as a pack animal almost, but they're just working around as this death ball.
Spike
Speaking
planted.
of, Fatinho, Redguard, look at the kit on Fatinho. He's still got the paint shell to invest if he fancies it, which he almost freely clear some of these corners.
I mean, you've got 2 super low in Mr. Fallen and Krax as well. Paranoia, opportunity here.
Gonna spot one, there's the paint shell, but I mean, not gonna get the value we were imagining out of it. Paranoia could be actually very good. I wonder if that caught 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. Mr. Fallen catching the cross. Sharp. Needs more. Not going to get more. Okay. FUT are in the first in the second.
I think GiantX sticking around a little too long there towards the back of A. Just swarmed around and taking those 1vx's. Now, FUT working towards this buy. CNED again. The Outlaw has been what he's been fancying on those ecos. or on those anti-ecos as well into the second round of a half for GiantX. Curious to see the method that they choose to approach this round with. They're looking at forward positioning towards that A site, maybe try and farm up some sort of orb. I think it is going to be Clouds that they're looking to try and get that Hunter's Fury up into the future.
That makes sense.
Take flight.
They're going for both of them. Okay, uncontested here from FUT.
You'll take that every day of the week. This round is not one that you're imagining you're getting away with much, so you almost take what you're given. Yeah, the Jay looking to maybe farm up the opponents instead. As Edgar's going to be ringing the dinner bell for him here. Oh dear. Yeah, the Jay way further ahead than Redgar expected, so that's going to be a point to the good for him and that ult. He's secured basically the entirety of B, and they've left A.
Okay, the walk up. Thing is, though, the spike is going to be so late. GiantX not hearing much towards that B site. They'll just stick together, I guess. The pistols, you got to play those numbers, try and guarantee that you can get those trades down at the very least. Playing so careful in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
Full view into spawn here for Cracks.
Yeah, I want to see who goes hunting. I do imagine the Jay will be on the case, but again, you don't want to go too far if you do have that rifle, right? It's like there is that fine balance. So,
Okay.
There's a wall there. Doesn't matter. Oh, good. Mr. Fallen wants in. Yeah, it's just it's hunting season, really.
Shot dart.
And Hoodie, Cloud just trying to, I don't know, keep their lives as long as they can, but they are,
Right here.
the days are numbered here.
I mean, I've got to imagine that the call to just have 4 completely just try and save and die to that spike later on was probably to try and avoid Yedijay just cycling back up into that run it back. Halfway there again, and Endothluthia flawless coming out here for FUT. 7-7. GiantX anti-eco coming through. The FUT, very comfortable bonus.
And if I'm not mistaken, that is a FUT timeout as well, so maybe wanted to come up with some sort of concept for this, considering they are on that slightly lighter purchase, or maybe just to check in for this half, really, if anything. So why not pump the brakes for a second, it looked like, but tell a lie, we're back underway. So I'm interested to see what they go for. I don't know how these two teams fare at this point. For GiantX, it's a little scary because they are the ones who are going to be facing elimination here at this point, because FUT do have that map under the belt, so they get a little more respite and a very quick challenge up middle, and Intent behind it. Nice, Ada Captain just walking mid, dealing with utility, no fear from it. And look what he's done. Redgar and Fatinho are so uncomfy now.
Yeah, still maintaining this snow pile control here. Nookie, what a flick onto the head of Ada Captain. Site, free for the taking. No cover available, though, no longer on this B site. Great paranoia to push off that spike plant as well. But may just have to revisit over towards A.
Yeah, we'll see if CNED can find some space to work for them. They haven't cleared the utility, that lower mid side, so that's still feeling safe. And you can see the run back already happening. Cloud's the one to start leaning back towards that A site, but he will be behind the curve slightly, I think, as Mr. Fallen should be able to get, if he wanted to, straight towards site. Obviously, he didn't know it was completely sparse of players, so I'm going to slow down just a touch, but
30 seconds
we'll
left.
find out very soon. And he is free to plant.
As expected, I mean, you're up 5-3 here for GiantX. You're going to play for that retake protocol.
Spike
Cloud
planted.
has the recon to work with. And you also have the Maze Toxic Screen here for GiantX as well.
Just want to see if it gets costly. That's it. CNED,
He needs one.
he ain't going to get it. Hoodie, quick. And now down to Mr. Fallen and Cracks. Nookie making himself noted. Yeah, taking down Cracks and Mr. Fallen. Swept aside, clean stuff from GiantX. Love that, love what I'm seeing. Considering the pressure that Ada Captain was willing to put by just flying up tube, getting towards middle, putting Redgar really on a platter right next to Fatinho, but they handle it perfectly. And if you were missing it, it wasn't Andalusia flawless, so they'll be happy with that. Stabilize the money, keep those rifles up, answer back after what was a rough start.
Ada Captain, the one that we're looking towards as well. I mean, those lurk timings, very strong, the positioning, the disruption. But again, if that Viper is the first to fall in a composition like FUT is running with, and you're leaning towards that B site, you are going to have to pivot continuously. No cover to be provided in that kind of sense, but we'll see how they decide to cook up into this round. Your standard drone coming out. No one's spotted thus far. CNED walking up towards pipes. Cloud right on the other side, but he's going to play a bit more passively. Just try and keep this space in case FUT do need to find themselves elsewhere.
I mean, you've got Mr. Fallen one away. YetaJ one away. Fatinho just handing out fades though. Mr. Fallen's gone, so that's the ult out of this round potentially for Mr. Fallen. That could have been an opportunity for him, but...
Oh, CNED spotted out there too.
So they've lost all the surprise to this round. YetaJ does have the ult ready to go, so they could depend upon that to clear that B site a little more if they fancy it, but this is scary times now, losing out on Mr. Fallen.
I like that dark cover thrown out by Redgar as well. Just makes it a little bit more difficult and forces out the run it back from YetaJ to clear out these angles, push past these smokes.
He's got a lot of information off that though. Should have seen a whole lot of players back there by CT. Now for the post plant, what do we have really? Adacaptain with a little bit of kit, but with Mr. Fallen down, they don't have the same sort of effect, right? They can't depend on all of that utility, so they will need to posture up, they will need to take a fight, and that'll certainly help out matters. Just a shot in the dark and it works. Look at YetaJ, this guy is so confident. He's such a nasty little player. Look at him. They had no idea. He was so ready for the follow-up. But great work from Adacaptain in the back lines as well. Down to 2 apiece. For the HP lower, dwindling. Adacaptain down to 8, but still alive and still enough for them to tie this scoreline even closer.
Neck and neck here on the second map of this best of 3. And with how close every single round has been, though, since we've swapped sides, despite the fact that it has been FUT for 3 rounds into the second half, GiantX have made it uncomfy. They've made it them fight for it. So haven't been able to get quite comfortable in building up that economy for either team thus far. Fatinho, though, Showstopper is available. And we're seeing a lot more proactivity.
Massive paranoia sent. You can see him just running straight down. He wants to either herd them forward, but look who's just cowering in spawn. It is Mr. Fallen. He didn't want to be caught there, but Cloud actually delivered the fatal blow towards Adacaptain. That was down middle, if I'm not mistaken. You'll take that, but how far does YetaJ get? No, they are very much aware of you now. He's an audacious player, but he is being just hunted out. Cloud had enough of that mischief. And losing out on Adacaptain and YetaJ, that has really taken a lot of the viability out of this round.
Creeping up towards tube here. Nikki's been watching underneath. The timing. Mr. Fallen will be able to use that new window to look in towards spawn, but great re-clear coming out from Fatinho. Covering all bases here on the side of GiantX. This round, 45 seconds left. Just about done and dusted here, though, for FUT. Would require heroics to be able to bring them back in. Again, leaning back towards this B site. They're going to have to, if they want to get that spike plant down, they have to clear so deep into B.
30 seconds
GiantX
left.
happy to give it up, though. They know that they have the numbers advantage.
No need to risk anything here. It will need
I'll find you.
something monumental from these two.
Spike planted.
Plants in. Right, CNED cracks. I mean, these two, mechanically, talented. That's a lot of targets.
A lot of targets, a lot of space that they've given up as well. You would expect maybe CNED to be playing a bit further up in this 2v5.
They got to be clean on this. They need at least a freebie. They're not getting it. Cracks. He didn't take much damage, though. That is one benefit. But again, look at this utility, forcing him deeper and further away. So difficult to try and be that difference maker now. Defuse is inevitable. He admits that now. It's time to back off from this GiantX. That early work, the pivotal aspect here.
So much space had been found by GiantX on the extremities. Now FUT, semi-eco to come through. Just try and bolster that by just a little bit alongside the hero rifle in the hands of Cracks. Looking at what else they have to work with here. Mr. Fallen does have the Hunter's Fury in hand as well. One away also from a couple of these ultimates. CNED could try to get the Tool of False online.
I mean, we're clutching at straws, right? You're just like, maybe, but in my mind, it's on YellowJ having a pop-off round or Cracks having masses of impact, something going almost kind of beyond expectation. On the other side, also very close to a couple of ults. Cloud's almost there, Hoodie's almost there, Nookie's very nearby. So and they've just rang the dinner bell, right? And Cloud so clean, seen it, falling to his death there. And this is just going their way. Yeah, Fatinho having none of it. He wants that ult back online. He used it just a moment ago, but he's farming with every single kill he gets as Mr. Fallen. He's got plenty of targets and not many chances. So that's GiantX now, double digits. This is big from them.
Looking very comfortable here on Icebox. We were worried about how the momentum was gonna go, but after they lost 6-13 on their map pick, still able to carry forward, have that resilience. And their defense has looked very solid thus far here for GiantX. FUT though, massive snowball round coming in for them. With the ultimate cycling up, you've got the Nightfall, the execution, deny any of that auditory, any of those auditory cues.
This is bold.
That is extremely bold. I mean, you play retake protocol now. For GiantX, getting that lockdown could be the round for them.
It could potentially, but this is really risky. Okay, Fatinho was able to turn in time to at least deny YellowJ further impact. Now you're going to hear all of these ults coming through, right? Lockdowns there, they're just spamming these out. CNED, the one to find Hoodie. The plant yet to come in, though. Look towards that spike. Look towards what Fatinho is doing. Finding both of them. The spike now falls. And this was a heavy invested round from FUT. This is problems. This is dire straits. This is down to one man, and it is wrapped up. Fatinho, exceptional impact there.
4K for him and already got that showstopper back in hand here as well. FUT. We saw the ideas. GiantX. The fact that it's all on the back of the duelist to turn the tide there. It was looking a little bit dodgy. We saw the lockdown came out very early. GiantX wanted to fight forward, not even give that opportunity.
Much beyond that. And then they're going to be against 12 rounds, right? It's just that snowball effect in practice. Let's see if they've got anything up their sleeve here. This has been GiantX running away with this half.
Let's play.
So the false out, looking to peek alongside this owl drone. Finds one.
Oh. Imagine if he was on Jet.
He'd already be up in there in yellow.
Don't even talk about it. It like breaks my heart. But Hoodie has to give away the game, and now he's a little screwed here. I don't know how much he can really do. Whoa! Nothing. Okay. Nothing. You know, it was a good try. NT, any more information?
A little risky.
YellowJ. Well, he knows where it's coming from, but Fatinho is always going to find some impact here. Mr. Fallen's gone down. But this time they've got the Viper's Pit to depend upon as well, so that should facilitate somewhat of a safer plant. And I say that, Fatinho gonna find out a captain. This guy is just immovable in this. And this is gonna be, again, another problem. YellowJ's gone down. Now it's really on CNED, who has the rifle, maybe Cracks with that advanced positioning, but no, Fatinho is on fire. He is coming alive for this side exactly when they needed him most.
One to match point here for GiantX. 45 health here for CNED. Nothing he can really do. Spike drops so far in towards B site as well.
30 seconds left.
There's no fair fight here. It's first contact and then a swing from the others. And he knows it. He's trying and he's failing. It's Nookie. And the icing on the cake here, but I've got to say, in my mind, Fatinho is finding form, and it is wondrous to see.
Yeah, match point here for GiantX, and so much invested into that round by FUT. No ultimates to work with now. That was the last 3 remaining for them, and now I think what's interesting is also comparing these compositions a little bit. I think GiantX, they're a little bit more measured in their utility usage. FUT, it feels like they're really relying on Captain being able to find those positionings on the lurk, and then YellowJ just being so scrappy and just throwing off some of those timings. But if they're not winning on those engagements, they don't really have much more to work off of.
Yeah, it's running on fumes now, isn't it?
Bring them down.
And we're seeing some vintage Nookie, some classic Fatinho. Seeing them really find that, and it's nice to see, because it has been the Cloud show for a while, right, when you're talking about GiantX, but we're seeing some of those pillars of strength that this side used to depend on. Yeah, the Jay unable to really kick into that high-level gear. He's been great, to be fair, but not quite enough to secure the rounds. And it looks like, again, this BP is going to be coming through. This time around, Hoodie here. I think it's Redgar pushed up as well. Yeah, the Jay, can he close down on any of these players? He wants that first one. Yeah, he's going to get it. Redgar unable to escape, and that should at least allow access towards Yellow, but there's the response.
Great Viper's Pit coming in, denies so much of this site. Still a sliver to work off of here, though, for FUT.
But Nookie
Spike
just
down.
not allowing them any further, and Yedajay completely dialed in towards where Nookie was, looking to maybe, I don't know, get a trade on that, but he loses his life, and now numbers advantage. This is scary. Cloud still has Kit to play with too, as does
30
Fatino, so they're
seconds
making
left.
a run for it.
Again, numbers here, but look at Adacaptain looking to find something on the rotation. Alarm bot to give away his location, though. The Ruse is given up.
Gone.
Okay. Seeing Ed and Cracks.
10 seconds left.
Is there any recovery here, any chance? It feels like it's fading by the second as the HP bars get chipped away at. Seeing Ed, if there's a time to come alive, it would be now. That's not the shot he wanted, a clip, a tag, but it's not enough. Look at them surrounded, swarmed near on. GiantX trying to stay alive more than anything, trying the best they can. And digging in deep here. Oh, but it's not going to be enough. GiantX live to fight another map. They bring us the distance now. We're going all the way.
Hey, heading over to Sunset as our decider. It feels pretty appropriate, seeing that the Sun will be setting on one of these teams.
Both teams winning on each other's maps, which is already a bit bizarre, but that aside, where do you put this now? Because we're coming into that third and final map, right?
I have big question marks. GiantX, they're following through with the comp that we saw them play the other day up against Carmine Core, and Nikki on the Sage was questionable. We didn't really see that much value, I don't think, coming out from that Sage wall. And again, starting out on the defense first, especially, you're lacking in a lot of that information that the Cypher, the more meta pick here on Sunset, would be providing you instead.
Yeah.
On the other side, I think Des put it perfectly. CNED will play literally anything other than Jet to just, you know, upset me.
He knows.
It truly. But if we look at what we've got here, they've completely isolated Nookie. If they decide to go B, it'd be free. But they're not. They've decided A is the eventual goal, where currently the vast majority of GiantX reside. So it looks like they've maybe felt out a little bit of that pressure and gone, I think B sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, and Nookie can hear this run through top mid as well there. So the Cavalry will be shifting over towards the B site for GiantX, but again, they have a lot of control here. Full market control, full Boba control, denying the two main
30
lanes
seconds
here
left.
for GiantX on the retake.
But also just not having a lurk as well after having those positions is wild to me, but a deep smoke towards CT, look at that.
Oh, the one way.
That's gorgeous. Mr. Fallen just bought them a lot of time while forcing them to invest their utility just to clear this corner. CNED now going to work in unison. Lovely work together. This is just picture perfect from FUT. And now the rest is a formality. Hoodie, it would be great to do something here, but at the present moment, CNED's had a belting round, but credit to that one little smoke from Mr. Fallen. That was wild.
But so much time, just the space that FUT were able to find there. And that was also, they just had nearly gone into that full setup on GiantX as well towards that A site. But now looking forward in the grand scope of things. Man, this was such a clean round here for FUT. But regardless, anti-eco abound here. CNED 4 into the showstopper as well off the back of the pistol. We're looking at likely some sort of fault line off maybe Prowler contact, jiggle towards a main, but FUT not really testing things out there. It's just going to be that pressure that Adacaptain has been so good at putting on GiantX. We saw it on Icebox, we saw it on Split.
Well, speaking of pressure, it's going to be towards Nookie very soon, and he's got a classic to try and dissuade the approach. Otherwise, oh, Redgar's on a platter, and he can't do much about this. So Redgar, well, that's about as far as you get, to be fair. Almost got a little bit dangerous, right? Mr. Fallen took a boatload of damage, but that was as best he could achieve. Now we look to see if there's anything further. Now I like this from Adacaptain. Love that late round presence, just beautiful. Making mid just seem inaccessible. Hoodie Still good for one. That's Mr. Fallen down, but still, this is classics. There's not much more really to be done.
No, I mean, right now it's just about maybe trying to deny some of the ult orbs here outside of FUT. Otherwise, Nikki here's one around the corner. Right click, trying to do some damage.
Player standing.
A nice paint shell to just close things out and guarantee the pick. It's all down to Fatinho. But again, maybe try and get a weapon out of the hands of someone on the side of FUT. But a clean round nonetheless. Won't be in the cards, and Ada Captain with the Ghost alone, the one to find the 3K for FUT.
Well, it's almost the way you'd want it, right? Because they had, a Vandal in there, some Bulldogs. You wouldn't want to be risking losing those technically. So I'm fine with it being Ada Captain, hitting that lurk timing perfectly. Loved the way he exploited that later play coming up through almost second middle there. Just really nicely done. If this is what FUT's going to look like on this map, I quite like it. Now, early doors though, right? That's a lot to take away from 2 rounds when it's a pistol included. So we wait and see. GiantX, there are a couple of flaws I think Steel was very aware of when we were watching this before with their performance, that they were struggling in certain areas. So we'll have to see if that kind of creeps in again. And look at this top mid presence; they are right up through them. CNED leading the charge. This is bullying Nookie basically. I mean, Nookie's great, but this is so much for one man to handle. Right, he can dip back down here, try and regain some presence towards middle, because that's not the only attention. Exceptional work from Nookie to even make it out of this alive. The fact he's got pressure on 2 fronts and no support system, he's left all on his own.
Yeah, no delay available there, and will look like a good start here on the defense for GiantX again. Just being able to be crunched in that situation. 3v4.
And they're paranoid about that lurk now. Ada Captain does it once with a Ghost, and now they're really worried about it, and rightly so. There's an opportunity for one of these players to do exactly that. Now, be it Ada Captain, it doesn't matter. It will be one of them. It looks like YellowJ, but Fatinho, the one to try and go find something here. But look at them sitting super deep, making this difficult. They haven't even started that diffuse. Just a tap on the spike and cracks. The one to commit on the swing. He's only 15 HP, so why not? YellowJ does make that lurk work in the end. And now it's Hoodie on a platter. FUT are putting on a show. This is really nice work from them. This is the best sunset I've seen from them so far, and it's only 3 rounds.
I mean, it's calculated right now. Cracks even so low, knowing not to overpeak in that situation, playing so patiently, while the remainder of the team plays disruption towards B main. Push back, of course, from Hoodie's utility, but nonetheless, to maintain that position, to be the one to be able to still swing off that initial tap, it's everything to deny half, at least. Now looking to the next round, GiantX. Only pistols to work with here. Again, default look for the team. Ada Captain, I want to take the time to talk about these toxic screens too, because he's been shifting them around the map. It hasn't really been conditioning on one extremity or another. It's been all about, okay, if we break these walls, if we have a smoke that we can maybe creep past, some sort of utility, it's just continuously drawing so much attention.
Let's see how this goes. No one playing close here, so they've been allowed the way through. They eat the paranoia, so that allows Redguard to re-clear this space, but they're being quite careful in this round. They have changed things up, but it is a pistol. Yes, there's light armor behind it, but you can already see the adjustments, right? You've got Nookie on the other side of the map, but this has opened up space. YellowJ leans through, finds Cloud. He knows that's not the normal player. It's Redguard traditionally, and they knew Paranoia just put through there, so they know he's close towards sight. Big information game, and he's going to see the full picture very shortly. Redguard gonna find CNED, and that should be a rifle to hand, potentially. That's a little sketchy. Ada Captain, though, once again, this guy's lurks, this guy's timings are horrible to play against. He's really got them wrapped around his finger, and now they can't split their attention effectively.
I mean, it's always worrying about that backstab. Ada Captain continuously waiting for the perfect moment. He'll pull back after that attention is drawn, knowing that the time is ticking, and once GiantX have to start making that move back towards site, well then, again, show himself, show his hand. Now, big investment here with the operator.
I want to see how that looks. Is that enough to maybe change things up? I don't know. But in my mind, when I'm looking back at, let's say, comparisons, when Steel was talking about some of the timings on Nookie's lurks being a little off here and there, so the lurks coming out from GiantX before, where it just wasn't quite well timed to taking contact on the rest of the pack, so maybe you could optimize it. I've got to say, Ada Captain's is near on to the second of perfection. It's very impressive. So now, into the buy round. Oh, what?
No.
Xantares, who, Yenajay, this kid is just out of this world. It does get somewhat nullified by at least a trade coming out, but Nuki, I mean, this guy's having to work for his dinner today. He's getting pressure everywhere. He's like, when am I going to get that lurk from Ada Captain just behind me at some point? When are the two players in front of me going to burst through this? He's trying to be proactive, and he just walks through the smoke. Nothing there for him. Ada Captain grinning at that. They got a plant, they got a post plant. They still have mid control. Ada Captain still hasn't shown his hand fully here. Look at this.
And so diligent. The timing perfect as always. GiantX, they need this round.
Hello. There he is, like a phantom every time you think, no, I'll be fine this time. I'll be fine this round. No, you won't. Ada Captain is in your spawn. He's behind you. He is always there. I don't think he's died yet, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I'll have a little check on that in a moment, but that is maybe his first death. Cloud going to gift that over to him because I've cursed him, and I'm sorry. But still, this has been masterful to witness, Ash. This feels like we are seeing probably either an extremely well-read side, right? They've watched that other GiantX game, they've come in fully prepared, or they are just simply the better side of this map.
I think a lot can be said, again, not just from the presence that Ada Captain has had, 8-1 at that, as we see a timeout to be called here by GiantX, but again, that toxic screen. I mentioned...
But we digress. We put our attention back where it should be. Couple of ults starting to cycle through as well, right? Ignore Redgars, doesn't matter that much. It'll prove me wrong, it'll do something important with it. But the rest are not a million miles away, so this could be a snowball round coming in for GiantX at some point soon, right? I mean, FUT not particularly far away themselves either, though, so similar scenes on either side, but we see the difference here. Look at the switch up. Again, they've just... They're reading them like has someone left their notes out on the table. What's happened? They are in their head rent-free. They hadn't really toyed with A too much, right? There was a couple of looks towards it, but they went, nah, not for us. This time, yeah, as near on 5, of course leaving one lurk in the hands of Yenajay. This time, they've got the side for free.
I mean, it's really a masterclass set. The difference, I think, in these compositions as well, FUT taking full advantage of the fact that you're not running Cypher on the side of GiantX. Makes it so much easier to worm your way through and for those backstabs, yeah.
Yenajay, he waited, and he strikes so perfectly this. And there's no escaping it. It feels like the inevitable, right? If it's not Ada Captain, it's Yenajay. What are we meant to do? That wasn't the full purchase there. Yes, they did go for a stack, but this is an oppressive feeling. You are feeling you've got a weight on your chest playing up against a team who's currently leading you by 6 rounds to the good. Yeah, okay, we finally got some of our ults coming through. Exceptional. Wait, so do they.
I
You
think,
know, it's...
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, FUT haven't really needed to use them in any sort of regard, right? Just comfortable to take the duels. I think GiantX as well, with that crushing the Sage.
Same thing. 4-1.
I mean, I think the idea is there, but for GiantX, with their composition, they do look towards trying to set up some of those trap plays in the fade, in the breach there for Hoodie to help Vitinho in that kind of regard. But when you're playing so default the way that FUT is, you're not actually running straight into those setups. Lives a lot to desire.
They might have worked this out, though. The way they just got contact from the Prowler towards... Who was it who was tucked in the corner? I think it was Hoodie, and they would have noted the Prowler that came from Cloud. I think they've realized this is unorthodox. That's not the traditional thing we've seen, because that's different bodies on the site in a different way. That's not just the standard, Nuki playing towards the side there. So yeah, they've read this really well, and they've responded perfectly off the very limited amounts of information they've been given. Oh, that was quite close. But they've got themselves a plant here. This is... I'd be terrified to play against this team.
Oh, that Viper's Pit, so much value.
Raps.
You have one avenue to go through now.
You want to walk into that? Have fun, guys. Go for it. I mean, they've got ults.
Yeah, but fully funneled over towards A short.
Here we go. I mean, the wall's gone up, so it's given them avenue. They've given a little bit of access here, but this is so difficult. He's dropped into the bloodbath, it looks like. CNN's been found. Hold on, there's a little bit of something to this. A tap on the spike, and they're looking to see what they've got up against them. Ada Captain going to pull the trigger. Down to Yenajay and down to Cracks. It's a 2v2. There's a chance in this. The first chance in what feels like a lifetime. Oh, Nuki's found Cracks. There we go. Just about getting there. They should have the defuse here. First on the board.
Much needed round here for GiantX. stopping the bleeding for now. Big part of that was actually from, I think, the first really good wall that we've seen Nookie be able to pull out there, just fully cutting Yetajay off from the play over towards A short. And the explosiveness that they were able to find to flood back onto site as well when they were only given that singular avenue to really work with. Only the Nightfall had been used, so still looking towards Showstopper. Rolling Thunder available here. Resurrection if somebody goes down early here for GiantX.
My brain got really confused when you said Resurrection, because I think when I hear it is just Res, and I was like, oh, that's the full name. No,
Yeah.
Coutinho, there we go. Starting to maybe warm up a bit after what was a disastrous start. We don't need to sugarcoat it, do we? Not bad. Taking down Yetajay, that gives him a really nice bit more freedom. And this switch up here, right? You look at the complete adjustment. Wall towards top mid, Nookie over towards almost A link side, rather than playing kind of towards B, around that market area. So again, big switch up in positioning, playing very deep towards A, almost allowing them the side control, but I'm curious to see how far they're willing to take this. That's going to be noted. Yeah, Mr. Fallen's hunting that down. Vulnerability shown by Redguard there, and that's a big opportunity lost.
Information given as well knows that one person is pretty close by here towards this A site, but Nookie's just gonna wait the remainder of GiantX to try and catch up. Again, Showstopper available into this retake here for Coutinho.
There we go, Cracks. Holding the edge here. This is dangerous though, he's got a lot of players. Oh, he couldn't get it done! And a captain though. Gonna try and stem this, keep this in control, but Nookie gonna invest the res, and Nookie popping off here. It's all on out of captain. A 1v4. How much can one man do? He has been the absolute monster they've been unable to get past until now, and actually he's buying time really nicely here. This is such a tall task for him though. There we go, dealt with, diffuse coming in, all good in the end. I got a little nervous then, but there you go, that's a second.
Nice adjustments coming out from GiantX. Previously, they did play, I feel like they did play pretty passive in a lot of the early rounds there, but in positions where they were able to be swarmed around now, a bit more careful to that, just warming up to the lurks that they were expecting to come from FUT in that kind of regard. Things are starting to get closer.
Like the monitor.
Whoa, okay. How do you even...
I don't know.
You have to turn your whole head to look. I feel like...
You got a 30-degree view, and if it's anything outside of that, good luck. Hey, there's some players that like blow my mind, like Yakinda does it, and some others, it's just like, what the hell? It's wild.
Hey, you're dialed in.
Yeah.
You have to be.
He misses a shot, damn. But we'll find out, because it's currently Redguard who's got 4 players coming his way. And I think they've kind of felt out of this adjustment. They haven't fully found the method they want to use to try and break this, but again, the retakes have been pretty solid from GiantX. These have been the rounds have been stringing together. And already, Nookie, okay, Redguard, careful now. You see them coming. Christ, at that point with your screen where it is, you can smell them coming, but already, Plant gonna come down, you gotta be careful now.
Spike planted.
On the other side of things, it's not necessarily CT, it's not that, you know, main approach, it's the side approach that is gonna be the bloody battle. And wait, look at this. Yetajay trying to get ahead of himself here, and Nookie was having none of it, but the backup was there for FUT. CNED and Cracks were ready to chat. Hoodie, what is going on here?
Hey, stun could be massive. Cloud finds one at the very least. What?
Enemy remaining.
Okay. Yeah, no, hey, it works. That's fine. That's
Turns
perfectly
the-
fine. It just seems so messy. It seems like, okay, what the hell are we witnessing? Like, that was just like so messy when Hoodie's like wide swinging out there, and it's all like a player sitting around the place, and then you have just like, what was it? Coutinho flying in, just like literally flies in, takes the fight. These are such risky rounds, and they're winning them. That's 3 consecutive now.
I mean, GiantX, they're not afraid to bring the scrap back towards FUT when they are getting more aggressive. Man, winning out those engagements there towards short just means everything for that play to find the numbers. 3 retake rounds here for GiantX. And I like this shift here for FUT though. We were lacking on that mid pressure the past few rounds that they had been losing. There had been, I believe, the Sage Wall had gone up towards top mid rounds, giving GiantX a lot of comfort to flex a bit more towards either extremity, towards either site. So a bit of that pressure was put down. keeping that attention of GiantX. 3 towards B.
I like
Seeing
this.
Scale up.
If J is able to play passive, and so here's the conditions of it being interesting. They win the fight, right? And this is the difference. So they have a judge here, and they also have the additional body. They actually have kept Vitinho here as well, so that's a little bit of a switch up. I was liking the idea of keeping J there because maybe he could catch and punish Hoodie and Nookie coming over, who've been really deadly in those retakes. But now with that not being the case, they might be trying to scramble.
Oh. Cloud's so wise to it. And Redgar's now switched up the position of this judge around the corner.
One enemy
Oh, it's not pretty, is it? Oh, no one likes a judge. Do you like, actually, wait, I have never asked you. Are you a judge apologist, or where do you stand on the judge front?
Depends. If it's in my hands.
Oh, then it's fine? Okay. I mean, this has been a fantastic adjustment, though. Judgment, Christ. But in all actuality, we have to give credit to that pause that they hit earlier here for Giants, because the adjustments they made of changing out where Nookie was, putting Hoodie in a new position, and again, you kind of left Redgar to solo A for quite some time, but the retakes have been just so good because Hoodie kind of facilitating a lot of that impact coming back through. It's been really impressive to watch. So this is a big credit there towards GiantX. You can't undersell that.
No, adjusting very well. This upper angle now with the wall. Trade for a trade. Hoodie the one to go down. The player you just mentioned. Being able to use that utility to assist GiantX in a lot of those fights. Now, regroup here, 4 foot. Nookie just looking to delay a little bit longer. Nice start cover to cut off the left side, but little do they know Redgar is around the corner, so GiantX are not worried about that creep up.
Where is everyone hiding?
Bald head now for J.
Yep. I thought that was, our little production team messing with us for a second. I was like, wait, no. It is the old pinhead running around. And GiantX again, oh my God, Redgar.
Spike down A.
He's down out of captain too.
It's all up to see Ned.
If it was on Jet, I'd believe. He's not, because he likes upsetting me. But
Who
this
knows?
is good. This is in the nicest way. I really thought this was wraps. Those first 6 were so clean, but FUT haven't found an answer at all to this adjustment from GiantX, which is so surprising that they haven't been able to find any solution. This round, to be fair, was completely different, right? They had that double stack towards top middle. It was very, very different than what we've been seeing. But still, this has been so good from GiantX. There's no way they should have been able to come back into this game.
No. I mean, you're down 0-6 to start now 5 rounds in a row to find that momentum. But I hope we see maybe a change in pacing here. You do have the Nightfall. You have that showstopper. But at the same time, looking towards that, if you're GiantX, you would read into that as well. Maybe expect them to pump the gas in that kind of regard. In this box. So nice to play around.
Oh, okay. This is all going to go a little bit wonky though, isn't it? Because Cloud's still here. I thought that was on the money. It might have been on the tag. He couldn't get that time. Cracks. Oh, and out of captain. They should never have left going to that B site. This is just theirs, isn't it? What can Vitinho do now? A 1v4. CNED, yeah, a little lower in HP, but certainly still breathing. He's got the paint shell. A couple of satchels. That's about it.
Satchel out.
There we go. This is horrible to try and break through. The Viper pit on the other side. Obscuring vision. Oh.
Satchel out.
He's trying, and here we go. Made a go of it. Not gonna happen. FUT stabilizing towards the end of this half here, but I've got to say the life that GiantX showed was so impressive.
It's pretty incredible the way that they were able to come back in this matchup. Now, the question is, if after FUT found their way back into that first half, if they can continue forward, try and find this pistol here for GiantX. We saw them struggling a bit towards that attacking side here for GiantX in their matchup against Carmine Core side. But
oh, look at this pace though.
already quick.
Yep. Making no, subtleties about this. They're being very obvious, but look at the mid walk on the other side.
3 players.
Okay.
No flank watch.
Lost.
That's the issue.
Yeah, you've just seen, I think, Redgar drift back through. But as long as they don't lose life on CT, this is really... Okay, that's not clean. So Redguard's going to see a lot more than maybe they would have wanted here for FUT, but they are going to be able to get the wrap on the side. This makes GiantX uncomfortable. Nuki already tagged up, put down a little lower, waiting on that heal to come through. The boombot going to be sent in, but no one going to be able to close the gap. You've got to wait. They've got to try and clear as they go out of captain, waiting to move in as well. But time's starting to tick. They've got to get moving on this.
Wall for that flank as well. Full sight here for FUT though.
Oh my god, they're just crumbling around them. They couldn't hold on to it. That mid-walk was essential for FUT there. Taking that trip down middle, 3 of them getting the wrap. Yes, it got noted by Redguard, but then there was no safety in the post-plant.
I think the difficulty there as well here for GiantX was Nuki throw that barrier orb, the Sage Wall, over towards sidewalk there, CT spawn of the A site. And that really left GiantX with no other options. It was 3 players stuck over in alley, no opportunity to try and wrap back around towards short. And fully alone now, anti-eco here for FUT. And looking towards GiantX again, looking for that death ball method. You can see pings going out for the defenders though, FUT looking to fight forward.
Careful. Yeah, they're chasing them too. They're taking that space. They're not allowing any sort of freedom, but a quick response coming in kind from
Look at
GiantX.
the trap wires.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's going to be lethal.
Our carrier's dead.
They're trying to find a way through here, right? But where are you meant to go? Being herded around. Nice try from Nuki. Does at least get Mr. Fallen, but you're down a hoodie and Redguard. Try and work out some of the utility they're going to be coming up against. Oh. And I've got to say as well, J, to me, has one of the best LAN nices that I've heard in a while. You know, that like you win around, you just start yelling nice.
Yeah.
He's got exceptionally solid nice there. So, you know, I put a lot of credit towards that. But what are these 2 meant to do? If they can get a plant, cool. Very unlikely considering you still have quite a bit of J set up here. So we'll just see what they can make of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an early cam as well that gets taken out here, so everything given up, just trying to farm up that orb here for Hoodie.
30 seconds left.
See what else they can do, 30 seconds on the clock. They're just walking back, taking their time. They know that this round is done and dusted.
1 enemy remaining.
Okay.
Still wait. No charges.
Not bad. But I can't call this game yet, right?
No.
Like, after seeing them string, how many rounds was it? 5?
5, yeah.
5 on the trot for GiantX. I can't be like, well, you know, they're almost double digits for FUT. Because GiantX proved that they have some gear shift they can get into that is absolutely wild. So, timeout time coming in. Looks like GiantX gonna try and get that focus back in, right? That first timeout they called in the first half worked wonders. Got them right back. My mind is that this round they can do something kind of weird. They've got Bulldogs, they got Stinger, Spectres, bits and bobs. It doesn't have to be a traditional round, which makes it very hard for GiantX to approach this in any sort of diligent way, right? Trying to clear through all the utility, and there's the mid-swing. That could... Oh, what a captain, what a shot! Vitinho and Redguard. This is GiantX in tatters. There's the weird and wonderful I was talking about. Eating them alive on that mid-swing. Oh, Vitinho. Oh, Redguard's got to face the music. It's Vitinho now. That's not how you want to see that to go.
No, you're expecting a little bit more firepower out from GiantX, but like you said, their opportunity to get weird there from FUT, much less on the line in that type of regard on their bonus. Now, GiantX, eco situation, but with double digits so early on here for FUT. Every round counts. And right now, we need someone on GiantX to come alive, to really have some sort of star performance into a round, to bring that momentum, that energy back into GiantX.
I mean, that's soul-breaking, that round. That is, you know, that's a hard one to recover. They got to do it back to him, right? With Sheriff says, they're on 10 rounds now, FUT. They're fighting for their life here. GiantX are barely breathing. Feeling somewhat smothered here, though. Yeah, FUT not letting them even get a step towards the site. That's Redguard and Vitinho gone. Nuki, is it the time to come alive for you? Sheriff ready. Potential victim, no. Mr. Fallen He's not falling for any of this sort of work. Hoodie, Cloud, great players, sure. But this would have to be nothing short of a bloody miracle now.
I mean, you just try and get that plant down, cycle
Last player standing.
into that Rolling Thunder. Oh. But nonetheless, clean rounds here for FUT. GiantX not able to bring the oomph that we were looking for off Nico. Yeah, I mean...
Oh man, this is when the comms go quiet. They need to get themselves pumped back up here, GiantX, because this is... It's hard to watch, right? They had that little, boost of energy, that first half comeback. Oh. Oh.
Okay, it's that kind of game now. It's that kind of game.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, they're 11 rounds up. You got to hope the GiantX don't start doing that comeback again, right? But they have every right to be confident. They got past that first big buy round with some naughtiness, right? Some mischief being managed towards middle, and it was just perfect. Now they don't have any big ults to depend on for GiantX. They don't have that quite banked. They have some right on the precipice, but it's not in hand. Whereas on the other side, you got the Rolling Thunder, you got Razors out there. You got so much to play through, and they have 11 rounds to their name. I've got to say it, GiantX is now or it's never.
Well, here we go, right in towards this B site. Such a passive play from J, though, knowing that that kind of oomph was gonna come for him. This little plant to come through. Let's retake
this
protocol.
I like that they're getting bold, though, for GiantX, so they're not just going to sit back passively, but this is when the real brawl begins. Hoodie's still standing. You see the boombot put through. They know there's more players here. Everyone's scrambling to try and draw blood. It's Mr. Fallen to connect towards Cloud, but look at Hoodie. Oh, what a shot from Hoodie!
Rolling
They've
Thunder.
seen it in a 1v2. Redgar on one side, Hoodie on the other. Can he get away? He can. He's still. Oh, he's got one!
Nade.
Is this vintage Cena now? Redgar is on.
Oh,
my-
okay.
No, there's no way. There's no way. You don't have time for this. Oh, a fumble at the end there. That could have been beautiful for CNED. But a missed opportunity and a second chance for GiantX.
Regardless of the second chance, though, it was expensive. It was costly for them in that round. The Rolling Thunder expended into that post plant as well when it was a 1v2. Now, nothing as far as any incredibly impactful ultimates that you're going to see coming out from GiantX. Other than that resurrection, but again, that also requires Nookie to be the one to survive into the late round to use it, and he's been the one who's been winning out on a lot of those opening engagements. Vicino.
Oh, I love it. They're just brute force and ignorance almost, right? Just run at them, get in their faces. Let's stop playing scared. Let's get into this one. Fatino trying to do it, and you can see already going to claim the scalp of CNED in this. But there's still 3 more players on this site. This is a lot going on towards A, and with J clearing as deep as he has, this is big information. Yeah, maybe they're a little worried about middle, but for now they know where that contact came from. Even GiantX pausing here, FUT should have faith that they're around this corner. They don't need to...
The angle.
Oh my god, I thought there was going to be a follow-up to that one. Mr. Fallen does get out of danger. Oh, and a captain goes down. GiantX clawing into this one, clinging onto it. Mr. Fallen, second bite of the cherry, not going to get it. Fatino still running, still gunning. Leaving J a mile away. Lance should be coming in any second, and he's got an army to face.
My ultimate.
Finds the first.
Planted.
You do have the neural theft, but he's just going to back off here. I mean, money situation, a bit rocky on the side of FUT. They'll be able to afford a full loadout for the entire team, but it will be some weapons tossed around to each other to make that one happen. But again, GiantX, they're slowly making this comeback. FUT still 1 off from match point, though. Something that we have to continue to keep in mind.
I mean, it's not quite there yet, but sometimes you're on 12. That final round does always feel like the hardest to get for some ungodly reason. You could be doing everything perfect, but as it stands, though, I mean, the way they're approaching this GiantX, it feels like they've just been told. I don't think I can say how I want to, but play with confidence, because the way they've been approaching this, they're taking the fights. They're going into it feeling like they can actually win them this time, because they were so down and out, it felt. I mean, earlier rounds, where were they?
They were giving too much respect over towards FUT after even the comeback they were able to make into that first half. Now, again, running it back towards this A site, looking for that elbow control. having Vitinho consistently being that kind of distraction, the satchel in, while the rest of the team looks to follow up.
Oh, but the paranoia, this time he's in trouble. Yeah, they've read it this time. Cena not going to fall for it twice, but he is stuck in place here. Does he get punished? No, he's made it away, and they've lost down the man who's making some big differences here. They've gone back for more. They've gone back for seconds. Still hungry for a little bit of this. The flash gets turned. Couldn't quite adjust the aim in time. The Cracks can take it down too. They're willing to brawl out. They're willing to fight these sort of very aggressive fights because they're up at 11. They have that opportunity. So now it's Hoodie and Nuki feeling very uncomfortable here. They don't know what sort of the map's safe, what's not, and had a captain just around that corner. He's gonna find one, note the spike getting dropped. He knows that Hoodie was near because he just took down his teammate, but Hoodie, a 1v2 ain't easy.
Where is everyone?
Oh, and the ult.
Nail in the coffin right there with the information.
Couldn't close down in time though, but it is insult to injury like that. Just bullets through the heel. Brought into check, and that is the 12th round. The adjustment there was what we were waiting for.
The counter coming out from FUT. That paranoia stalling the entire play, cutting off the rest of the team from that follow-up that GiantX had been relying on off the back of Vitinho's entries. That space creation is able to find. Now on match point here for FUT. GiantX, they've cycled up to 4 ultimates in hand. I mean, they're probably gonna rip them all right now, to be honest, but even if they can get that 8th round, they're left with nothing in the tank. This could be all she wrote.
Could be. I won't say it till I see it, but CNED catching Vitinho. That's audacious from CNED, too far. Punished by Cloud, overstaying his bounds, and the reactionary play is gonna be huge. That's 3 players noted. Do they pivot? Do they rotate? Do they adjust? Or do they pause?
You have an opportunity to reset here. Top mid, very safe right now. Yedajay just set up so nicely. You have full vision of the A site with the camera. FUT stack fully towards B with all the information that Cypher Kit allowed.
Okay, here's the double pump. Now they shouldn't be too affected by this. Actually, had a captain could have leaned a little ahead of it. He decided against it though. So this should allow for a plant to come in. Look and see if anything dissuade that. Not really, unless someone gets caught off guard in a very silly position. The plant should be in. Hoodie's gone down. But yeah, that's a little surprising. It's Redgar. Oh, that's not bad. And a captain, those found another. It's all on Cloud. A 1v3 or it's elimination.
It's the guy you want.
It is the Clutch King himself, Cloud. Can he do it again for GiantX? He's got Mr. Fallen, Yedajay, and a captain, all to find. And the first tap on the spike, he knows he's being called, being beckoned to fight here. He can't even take the angle, he can't even see him. There's nothing more to be done. GiantX eliminated, down and out, and FUT looked untouchable on that map.
They were insane on Sunset. The calculated plays coming out from FUT, the adaptations that we saw into this